I think we are good. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Meet the Dog. I'm your friendly local consultant, Chris, and with me today is Sloan. Sloan comes from our Angels litter, born back in, I believe it was April of 2021. It was actually right before I started working here. His parents are Watson and Reese. It was Reese, yeah. Watson and Reese. His brothers and sisters include our very own Fred Sandy, and as well as Lenny and Anna, who went out as pets. I'm sure you all remember Anna and her special high chair. Sloan is weighing in at, I think it said about 120 or 130 pounds by now. He's a big boy. He loves to eat. Some of his training strengths include his pace, and he's been doing very well around other dogs I've read. However, he has a problem where he is very hyper aware. So his focus is not what it should be right now. So we're trying to work on that with him. As you can see, he's a big cuddler, big kisser, just like his siblings. As I mentioned before, loves to eat, will absolutely destroy any bowl we give to him within seconds. He's probably our fastest eater. Charges the food bowl just full on. But his weight is fantastic. He will stop on a dime if I tell him to wait. He was named Sloan because he has, it's a little hard to see with the camera, but he has a little white slit on his forehead. And that's where the name Sloan came from. Some of his nicknames include Sloany Baloney, Sloaners. I like to call him Noodle Boy. But yeah, I'm gonna open it up to some questions about Mr. Sloan. Any questions about Sloan? Hey, you're doing very well. Who's a good boy, huh? Who's such a good boy, Sloan? Wanna go over here for me? Son? Let's get on camera. There you go. There you go. Good boy. Any questions for Mr. Sloan? Yeah, that's my phone. Please don't slobber all over my phone. I love you so much. You're such a good boy. Even if you're a complete jerk, we all love you. Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you for the kisses. Barb V asks, what does Sloan do that makes you laugh or smile? Well, as you can see, he's a big cuddler, and that always gives me a good smile on my face, because I know if I ever need some cuddles, I can go right to this guy, and he's always offering. Laugh. He can, when it comes to waiting for his food, he can stop on a dime. He has mastered the art of charging the food stand and then skidding to a stop. And I mean like a centimeter from like where he would hit the bench and jumps up. It's very impressive. And I've only seen him mess up once, and that was even more funny. His legs went right through the hole between the food stand and the bench that they put their paws on, and he just thunked his head right on the food stand. He was okay, but... How is Sloan like his dad, Watson? And that is from Crafty. I don't have a lot of interaction with Watson, but from what I can tell about Watson, he seems like he's a big lovable dope, and I think Sloan has that energy as well. He has big lovable dope energy. Crafty also asks who are his friends. He gets along well with Nessie, Bridget, all the Christmas girls. I don't think we've put him with any of the Tribble girls yet. He gets along very well with his sister Sandy. He has a habit of playing very rough, so sometimes we have to be a little bit careful about who we put him with, because when he comes out of his kennel, he comes out like a bullet, and if there's another dog out, he will like bowl them over and play very rough with them for the first few minutes. And then he eventually calms down and everything's fine. But we have to be careful with him sometimes. But he generally gets along with anyone we put him with. I don't think there's any girls he doesn't get along with, and of course boys he doesn't really get along with other boys very well. He doesn't really like to be around his brother Fred. They're not really very good with each other. But Barb V asks, is there something Sloan doesn't like to do? Lately, recall. He's developed a bit of an attitude when it comes to his recalling lately. Yesterday I had to chase him around Ice Hill because he just would not recall. He slipped out as I was putting Sandy back in. Sandy was also in here with him. And I had to chase him around all of Ice Hill and basically ended up luring him over to me by just dropping a bunch of treats onto the ground and leashing him up. So lately he has not been a big fan of his recall. It doesn't seem like he's very fond of going down under tables. I saw a note about that on the training logs. Crafty asks, how is he in his outside training and overnights? I actually don't think Sloan has ever been on an overnight. I think he was the only one of the 3 angels that we have now that has not been on an overnight. Because I know I have taken Fred and Sandy. I have not taken him yet. So maybe we'll do that at some point. But if he keeps acting up like he does, maybe not. Barbie asks, does he ever get into mischief? Lately, yeah. He's a good boy, but he's been a little spicy lately. Seeing what he can get away with, I think. But he's a good boy. No matter what mischief he gets up into, we all love him all the same. Isn't that right, buddy? Even if I want to throttle you sometimes. Crafty hitting us with some trivia about his family. He's the uncle of Jiminy, Larky, Capri, and the younger brother of Tigger, as well as the great uncle of the Christmas litter. Barb V asks, does he mind having his nails or ears done? I'm trying to think, the last time he had his nails or ears done, I don't recall him being a fan of it. Generally, none of the dogs are. I don't think he was one of our full-on meltdown dogs that would just completely sink into the floor or try to run off every which way, but I definitely don't remember him liking it very much. Gonna give it a couple more minutes for any last-minute questions, and then we will wrap up. There, right, Noodle, huh? You're doing very well, huh? Doing very well. Any last-minute questions about Mr. Sloan? Good boy. You'll get lost in this completely spectacular, immersive animation experience as you relive the adventures and joys of Disney's greatest characters when they come to life around you. Disney Animation Immersive Experience. Hi, hello, hello. Step into the magic. Hello. Experience the wonder. Tickets at DisneyImmersive.com. Join us at Odyssey as we do our one thing. Together, yeah, there he is. Any last-minute questions about Mr. Sloan? I'm going to give him a couple more minutes. 3:20, we'll sign off and be on our merry way. Crafty asks, how does he relate to Fred and Sandy? With Fred, they are both big eaters. Always get very excited about their food. They like to be very vocal about waiting for their food. Fred likes to jump up on his kennel, lick the fence a lot. Sloan likes to he likes to act like he's dying and makes the most pathetic noises I've ever heard. I would make one right now, but I would absolutely start making every single dog in this building bark if I did. So I'm going to hold off on that. But it sounds like he's dying. It's very pathetic. And that is how he and Fred are alike. He's a lot like his sister Sandy because they're both very big kissers. It's kind of a problem that we're trying to work on with them. And all three of them, as I mentioned before, very big cuddlers. If you go into the kennel with them and they're familiar with you, they will get up all over you. They'll try to kiss you. They'll try to lean up against you. Crafty asks, how is he in cold weather? I don't think he's bothered by it. He definitely doesn't. There are definitely some of the dogs that have been trying to avoid it. Army, I think Deanna, Emma. Emma has been avoiding the cold like the plague. But Sloan has not seemed to be bothered by it too much. He has not had... It's hard to tell because he is on Donkey Hill. So usually, how I usually tell is if we're feeding, are the dogs waiting outside or inside? And since we feed the Donkey Hill dogs in the arena usually, I don't really get to see if he's waiting inside or outside. But I don't think he's been bothered by it. He usually when I let him to play, he usually stays out and plays the entire time. That is all the time we have. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another dog. Happy New Year to everyone, and have a great night.